Hello, weekend warriors. I review and play games on weekends so you don't waste yours. Here's my take on this week's game in three, two, one. Alright, guys, we're going to be stepping into the ring for some boxing here. We're going to be talking about Undisputed. So, Undisputed, let me talk to you a little bit about how I liked it. I honestly thought it was pretty cool, especially after the recent update that I've seen. It was a cool game to play with. So let's kind of see if it's worth your time. At first, when I'm kind of new to Undisputed. I played Finite round 1, 2, and 3, I believe. So I'm kind of new to this one. So the whole franchise. But the timing, the intensity of the boxing, the footwork, it is pretty good, especially the head movement. I liked it. I like the jab. So you kind of establish your jabs, as you can see right now. I'm establishing my jab. So it is kind of tough to kind of get the hang of, especially if you're new at it. So that's my first impression. So I really liked it, especially like the whole different mechanics. So now let's kind of go into a little bit more depth on the mechanics. So the mechanics, you have multiple jabs. You have the right jab, the left jab, the straight, and the other straight as well. Hooks and all the typical movements, right? So every button has its own mechanic. That's one thing to kind of keep in mind. So I found the timing could be a little bit better, but we'll go into that a little bit more. Just let's focus on the mechanics. I think it was really cool. So that's one thing. The other thing that I've noticed was it could use a little bit polish. As you can see, like, look, I feel like I'm hidden, but it's not really connecting, right? So that's another thing that I needed to kind of see. If maybe it's me, if I'm not playing properly, it could be that. So I want any of those fans to let me know in the comments if you guys notice that. Okay. On that, let's say the career mode, which I thought it was pretty cool. The career mode itself was cool because you can kind of build your character. So you see my guy right now. It's a gray-haired guy from. He looks like from Game of Thrones, eh? Targaryen, whatever his names are. But anyways, that's my guy on the left. So you do build your guy. You can play him, build up his skills levels, his skill sets and stuff like that. It gets super addictive. So I remember I played it for like the whole weekend. Couldn't even get away from it. You upgrade your skills. You're managing your stamina. You're choosing the right strategies for each opponent. So it's kind of pretty cool in that sense. So it's kind of like a progression, ownership over your fighter, right? What else? There's the graphics in this game where it's pretty cool. I feel like they could have done better on the graphics, not gonna lie. That's one thing to keep in mind. But the graphics are decent. It feels like you're playing a PS4 game or PS3, not like a newer console kind of game. So they could do a little bit of improvement in that part. Especially, let's say, as you can see, like, the jabs or something is a little bit off. But like I said, if any of the devs watch this video, please just do a little bit more work on it. And then maybe another update would be better. Okay. Have I played online? I haven't played. I know there's an online version. I've not played online yet. So I can't really talk about it. I'm assuming it's the same as everything else, but if I'm not really good at the game itself, I'm not gonna play online and get demolished, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you do like this type of game and like you're good at timing, it's all about timing. This thing, it's very timing. So you have to time all your punches, right? What else? I'm gonna borrow the show. Yeah. So the hard part about this whole game of cons is, not gonna lie, the learning curve, because it took me a while. It took me like probably a couple of matches for me to learn, and I'm using the same punching combination because that's all I know how to use. That's pretty much it. The pros, like I said, super addictive, very, very addictive. Okay. What else I want to talk to you guys about? They could have done better. And like the rings, I find the rings and like even the background characters, I think they could have done better. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Okay. But other than that, man, I think it was cool. It's definitely, I think it's worth your weekend, so keep that in mind. I would definitely, it's actually, I won't say if it's 100% worth it. I'm going to start giving like a number. I'm going to say that it's worth about 70% of your weekend, you know? So you can find another game that's kind of different from boxing. I want to see what Fight Night 3 would do, you know? That would be a good impress. So if Fight Night would come back out with another boxing, I just don't think they have a competition. That's the only reason why it's not like perfected, right? Anyways, I guess beggars can't be choosers. So if we're choosing this one as a boxing, if we really need a boxing game, this one is the one to play, right? Other than that, that's my final take on this one. I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed this little knockdown right now. I'm about to give up one of these, one of that, one of those. All right, take care, guys. And for another lovely weekend, like, subscribe, and keep your weekends legendary.